Hello. Hello. Is this thing live? Okay. We're just gonna dive right into it today. Hello, and welcome back to another stream. We haven't had one of these streams for a while, but this is another Gunpla building stream. So, today I come with let's just say an unfamiliar kit to many people, the Gundam Astaroth Rinascimento. So this kit specifically is a kit of, well, Gundam Astaroth Rinascimento from Iron-Blooded Orphans Gecko, a manga. This is technically in the same universe as Iron-Blooded Orphans, but it is, well, of course, not the main story that was animated, that many people are familiar with. So this is, I believe, the second form that Gundam Astaroth came in. Of course, there's also the Gundam Astaroth Origin, its original form, but the main forms that we see in the manga are Gundam Astaroth and Astaroth Rinascimento, which is this. Looking inside the box, you see that there's quite the number of runners in here, like a fair amount of runners even for a high grade. You might be wondering why that is. Well, that is because this kit is essentially a kit batch between the Astaroth and Astaroth Origin. So canonically, what happened with the Astaroth was, of course, it originally began off as the Astaroth Origin. However, over time, I believe it was sold to a family who was unable to maintain it, so they sold off parts of it in order to maintain its mainframe, which you end up getting the Gundam Astaroth from. Then, as that thing got battle damaged, that thing was eventually sold off, but then rebought along with a ton of its original parts, giving you the Rinascimento. Unlike most kits, this kit right here is incredibly asymmetrical, which I will have fun building. Because I haven't built an asymmetrical kit in a while. Like the most memorable one I can think of right now is probably the what was it? Shenlong Gundam? Mainly because of that Dragon Fang arm. That right arm of it was rather special. But aside from that, most other kits I've built, like in the last couple build streams, have been, well, pretty symmetrical. But this just throws that out of the water. It throws that notion out of the water because all its limbs are different from one another. However, because this is also essentially a kit back between both Astaroth and Astaroth Origin, we will probably have a ton of spare parts here to work with. So immediately looking inside, we already have some new parts in here. I believe some of these should be some of the older parts as well, like with the arms right here. Uh, this I don't remember if this is from one of the this is the new shield or not, but it might be using the same the bottom of the feet. I honestly have not built the original Gundam Astaroth, but I have seen builds of it, like multiple builds of it, along with many compatible parts between these two. Of course, because there's also a ton of spare parts, theoretically you could also get another IBO kit and just make yourself a kit bash from it. A really unique kit bash. Because that is the nice thing about this line of high grades. They are all compatible with one another. Especially if you decide to get some Gundam Frame kit. And now I'm very tempted to get myself a Barbados and well, kit bash any spare parts from this onto Barbie because I can. Or rather another Barbados. So, let's see, looking into here, I believe this backpack might be left over. If we look at the instructions as well, Like, it might be a bit hard to see, but a ton of these parts are crossed out, meaning that they are all spare parts. Which is why you get all these runners as well, because again, these are parts from two different kits thrown together to make one kit. There are a couple of unique parts here and there, such as the V-fin of this kit, which I find very unique. That too is asymmetrical. They've also changed the color slightly. I believe the original Gundam Astaroth was supposed to be a shade of white, but they changed most of the white parts to gray. Okay, I'm assuming this actually is the new runner for all the parts on this Astaroth. Because, well, it shares a ton of parts with some of these other ones, but slightly modified. Including parts for the new shield and wrist. Along with, I think, parts of a new sub-arm on the right shoulder. So this is going to be fun. And I also see the V-fin right here and one of the daggers. I think there was two daggers that came with it as well. But for now, I can only see one. So, this looks like your standard Gundam frame. So this should be relatively easy to build. So what I plan on doing with this kit in particular is building the frame first. Oh, I see the other knife on this other runner. Anyways, I plan on building frame first, then layering armor on top. Because that is very fun. Are these two the same labeled runner? Yeah, they're both C runners. Except one's blue C and one is gray and black. We also have some really, really dark polycaps, which I haven't seen in a while. Nice. Okay, so everything's been laid out. We got 8 runners, including the polycaps. We do have a couple of color correcting stickers as well, though I don't think this is too bad, because this is a lot less than I've seen on other things. You have a little red sticker right here. I think that goes on the forehead. The eye sticker, of course. I don't know where these go. This, I think, goes on the new shield. These, I don't know where they go. But there are 3 of them. I'm assuming if they don't go on one side, it's just going to be asymmetrical. I don't know where this black strip goes. So I only know where the placement of like 3 stickers are. But hopefully, they don't stand out too much. So as I said before, we are going to start off by building the frame first. And just the frame. I will toss together everything else later. Ooh. Also need to pay close attention to the weapons as well, because they are a bit awkward. Not awkward, but they have some transforming gimmicks. A ton of transforming gimmicks on this kit. So, starting with the feet, as we usually start. Let me see here. Okay. We have your usual iron-blooded orphans, drum feet. Oh yeah, one thing I did hear about this kit when it originally came out, it seems like the joints might have been a bit loose, as with most of the IBO kits on their initial release. Personally, I haven't had any issues posing mines so far. Like, I want to say they're almost a year old, if not old. No, they are over a year old now that I think about it. Specifically, my Barbados is. I don't think I really see many issues with it, but that's also because I have it in a pose right now that doesn't put too much strain on it either. But I think the last time I touched it was like about a month ago. I mean, it's still on my shelf, but last time I checked, it was still pretty nice and flexible. Its joints held up. So I'm hoping that the joint issues I've been hearing about have only occurred with the initial batch releases. So cutting this out immediately, this is your usual plastic that you'll find, though it feels slightly different actually. I mean, it feels mostly the same, but it also feels a bit softer for some reason. Oh yes, by the way, this kit was released in I believe 2017. I don't remember when Barbados was released. But seeing how this kit does have a fair amount of weapons to carry, I'm going to hope that this kit is able to have its joint issues fixed that I've heard about. Because all the accessories on it are going to be relatively heavy with everything attached. So I am just kind of hoping that they'll be fixed by now. If not, we're just going to have to find some weird way of posing it. So, you got your little drum ankle right here. That's pretty nice. Let's see, so that is almost the feet done. Let's see here. I think I will have to properly attach some parts of, or rather, I do properly have to attach a couple parts here. I believe parts over here are used. Yeah. Like, I can't just, like, leave all the armor off because it isn't like the master grade where all parts of the frame are modeled, but most of the armor can be left off and attached later, which is great because it's fun. I'm pretty sure the feet are also symmetrical, so we don't need to worry about asymmetry for a bit. Where is this part it's telling me to look for? Here it is. I am just blind. The few things about this kit that are probably symmetrical are just the feet and the hands, not the legs. So the end of each limb is symmetrical, or identical, I should say. But they're definitely not symmetrical once you throw on everything else. All these parts are pretty dark, so it might be a bit difficult to see against my cutting mat. My non-stick mat. Let's see here. Okay, we're immediately throwing on new feet. I think this is it. Oh my. Okay, so we're not using the traditional feet that we usually find. Instead, we get completely new parts for the feet. And the plastic feels different as well. Look at this. Look at a weirdly shaped foot. It's like all bulged out at the side. I have never seen a foot shaped like this before. as you can see over here as well, like on the runner, there are the more traditional feet that you have, like just the sandwich style. Like you just kind of put a poly cap into here, then you just sandwich these two parts together. But over here, we do have some more color separation at least. Which poly cap are you? PC8. Okay. If I have enough poly caps by the end, I might be able to throw together the extra parts, and then I'm very tempted to just get another Barbados and, well, make a custom out of it. Might have to check my other boxes for spare poly caps, though, if I don't have enough poly caps by the end. Need to remember to place the poly caps in before I close everything up. Otherwise, I will be screwing myself yet again. I'm gonna connect this real quick before I seal it, because I don't trust myself to properly do it, to like leave enough space. Oh boy, look at this toe bend though once you get it. So it can bend forward because this is blocking. However, it can certainly bend down. Look at that. Okay. So you can't get much articulation forward. However, this tip right here does allow it to get a bit of balance right at the toe. So that's pretty nice. Okay, putting in the other poly cap now. Once it's in, again, I'm just gonna slide this in first so that I make sure it's in properly. Then I can put this on so I don't have to worry about trying to flip that poly cap over. And that's it for the foot. Of course, you can always remove it. I feel like it's pretty easy to remove the toe and replace it with a different toe. That's where the modularity of these kits come in. So that is a basic foot done. Of course, I'm still missing the back of the foot, but I plan on building the frame first. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to throw on music as well. I had music prepared, but I never threw it on. Whoopsies. Nice, calming music. Alright, so, anyways, back to this. Let's see, we're on to the leg frames. So we're still working with the same runner here, I believe, since, this should just carry enough parts for both legs. Alrighty. So this is going to be part of the right leg. And this other piece I'm cutting out right now is going to be part of the left. Now, while the legs are asymmetrical, the interiors, the frames, should be identical. Because this should just be using your traditional Gundam frame. Which is one thing I really like about this kit. It's all Gundam frame. Like, well, rather not like just this kit, but just these kits in general. The Gundam frames, if you build a Gundam from IBO, is all the same on the inside. Which is why I kind of want another Master Grade from IBO to come out. Because I really like the idea of the same frame. I also kind of want them to like just sell the frame on its own for a really cheap price. I'd be down to buy that as well. Because the frame looks nice. shit, I forgot to pick that. Okay, well. Okay, well, this goes for left leg, and this should be part for the right leg. Oh, no, it should be fine. Alright, so throwing this together should just attach right on right here. Nice. Okay, same with this leg. That's all the same. We might need some armor actually to create a seal for the ball joint. Yeah, we do. But that's only to hold in a polycap. For now, I will be probably leaving that out for a second, just to throw together a couple of other parts. First, this is the right part? I think this is the right part. For the right leg. And this for the left. Okay, so let's see, I need to remember this properly. That is to seal. This one needs to be placed on first. And attempt to duplicate that with the other leg as well. Okay. Alright, so take this part, make sure it's facing the right way. This, I believe, goes in here. Yep. This, gotta make sure this is also in the right way. Goes up here? Oh yeah, that creates the knee. Okay, yeah. I hope that's right. Yeah, it's right. Nice. And then we just seal it all up. Might be taking a bit more time than usual on this build, just because I'd like to make sure everything is in order. I haven't done one of these builds in a while. Okay, so now to replicate with this knee. Okay. Parts are in. Now to seal. Okay, nice. Let's see, next up we do have the ankle. Not ankle, not ankle, what was it? The thigh joint. We need to connect the leg to the hip. You can see the parts right here. So that should go for right. This one over here is for left. We need a polycap, and then we need something to seal that polycap in. Okay. Here. Next up, we got the polycaps. Hopefully this polycap goes in. Nice. Then if I remember correctly, this goes in like... Was that like this, or was it different? I think it was like this. Yeah. This, make sure this polycap is in place. Now this can be just thrown on top, right here. Wait, can this rotate? Actually, how deep is this even supposed to go in? Okay, I guess it's only going in this much. Leg seems like it can pop out pretty easily, which is good. Can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on who you're asking. Alright, let's assemble the same thing over here. Gotta make sure you don't crush the polycaps connection. Otherwise, that makes things a lot more difficult. As somebody who's done that many times, I tell from experience. Be careful with your polycaps. Alright. There we go. Here, a nice gentle click to lock it in. Alright, so next up, I guess we'll start attaching the ankles. So these are held in via polycaps as well. If I remember correctly, they go down here, yeah. Like so. These just kind of socket in here. As you can see, they can't really do much. Like, they're really loose because you only got one connection. Now, if you had another piece of armor to just hold that in, well, that's how it works. But the foot can kind of stand on its own. You just really need to be careful and pre-pose a lot of this stuff before you place it down. Otherwise, it's fine. standing on its own, just the frame. That's the feet. Legs, rather. I will throw that armor on later. Let's see, hip, on the other hand, is a different story. Actually, no, is it? I think the hip is just two pieces. At least frame-wise, for it to work. Okay, so the hip, got these pieces over here. I believe this is upside down, yeah. This should just be able to go in like so. That should be all you need for the frame. The frame is very spindly, as you can tell. Also, it feels like Astaroth is really short. That could just be me. Oops, this fell off again. You really need to pre-pose it all. And hold in the right places while you're pre-posing it if you just want the frame. Oh, yeah. Because again, this part will fall off really easily. It could just be me again, but the legs feel really short on this thing. Yeah, like, I'm trying to mentally compare these two. Like, the leg of the Astaroth to potentially the, Barbados. But I think the exterior armor on the Barbados is just giving it extra bulk. I also have the Grecian City, Grecian Rebake Full City next to it as well, so I'm also trying to mentally compare those two. But again, it's probably just the extra bulk offered by the armor, especially by the knee. Like, their armor around the knee really adds a ton of bulk to it. Like, it really beefens it up. Anyways, that is the frame for the hip. We're already onto the torso frame. So, torso frame. We got two parts here. I'm already pre-cutting out one of them. This right here is, I believe, to connect the backpack. That's part of the Ahab reactor. And you've already seen a full detail of this, like, the full details of this frame on the master grade. This is just a much, much, much lower quality rendition of it. Okay, so we got the two parts there. That's going to be a part sandwich. But before we do the part sandwich, we do need some more parts. Add more parts to the part sandwich. These should just be able to slide in. Yep. That nestles in real nice. That is going to be holding the neck in place, I believe. We need some more poly caps in order to get some ball joints inside the torso for the arms. Or rather, sockets for the ball joints. We got these two right here. Oh, whoops. Dropped a polycap. But they can just kind of be shoved in right here. Then we still have, I think, another piece to put in before we seal up. Actually, no, I am lying. Apparently we do just seal up right now. So, oh yeah, that's right. You need to make a proper area right here. So this creates like this little area right here, this little bar right here where a C-clip can fit in. And that C-clip is what we're building next. Sadly, we do not get the cool-ass moving pistons like we do in the Master Grade. But we get emulated still plastic ones instead. So this just kinda should be able to just clip on right here. This part is where you need to be really careful. Because otherwise, I believe this can fall apart inside the armor. Like, you really gotta make sure these two parts are in. Like, I might actually just recommend gluing these two together. Because otherwise, if this gets separated, like if this back part and the front part gets separated while inside the armor, this thing loses so much structural stability in the torso. I've had it happen to me on the Barbados before. I mean, you can fix it, but it's just really annoying and difficult too. So you gotta make sure these two are always sandwiched together tight. And then you do have some torso movement like so. Because, like, if they fall apart, pretty much the torso is just going to be incredibly floppy. Which, well, I mean, I've had that happen with the Barbados before. Like, especially when trying to pose it. Like, I was wondering why it was so floppy. Well, it turns out the reason why was, that was very loose and fell out on me. It got slightly less floppy when I did manage to fix it, but I mean, it's still gonna be a bit floppy when posing. So, there we go. This ball joint should be able to fit into here. This hole for the hip. So, next up. Arms. I'm gonna attach the neck joint first before we continue. Well, anyways, arms. All right, this is kind of cool. So the arms actually have a fair amount of frame components in them. What's especially cool is how shoulder armor attaches onto the arms. Because just like the Master Grade, the high grade shoulder armor attaches to a frame inside, well, on the arm, rather than directly attaching to the arm. So the frame, like the internal structure of the shoulder armor is completely separate from the external one, which I find very nice. It's just those little details that get me each time. Oh boy. If you've never built one of these kits, I highly recommend building one. Because this is a completely different experience than building any other high grade. Like, I want to say it's similar to building some of the Witch from Mercury kits, where they have most of an inner frame done, but this is just completing the rest of that inner frame. Except with this, it still has polycaps, but you know, there's some kinks that are gonna be worked out in the Witch kits, and they are worked out in the Witch kits actually. I mean, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I already forgot. Oh yeah, in the Witch kits you do have to, use some exterior armor in order to build up the frame. However, that removes the need of some polycaps and some extra parts here and there. So I'm all for it. That right there is a ball joint for the shoulder. Now to do the same for the left. So a little peg connects these things. Let's see, this should be, yeah, like this. And this should just hook on right there. Nice. So you got two shoulder joints that are very difficult to see on camera right now. Either that or my monitor is just at a weird angle. Anyways. Next up. Walking on the lower arm. Should just be two parts sandwiched together. But I think the hands might be a different story when it comes to assembly. I think we do need to get the backs of the hands. That's for the right arm. This over here is for the left. Yep, it's another part sandwich. Or at least initially. Okay. Might just cut out a ton of parts for different steps here in one go. And once we finish the frames, we should be able to head directly to slayering on armor. I think you can already kind of see the frame, a ton of the frame taking shape. You want to know what this frame reminds me of? Like, this is an old-ass series that LEGO has essentially buried. I've mentioned it a couple times way in the past on this channel. And that was LEGO Hero Factory. My god, that shit is so nostalgic for me. I loved Hero Factory so much. Like, it was one of my favorite series when I was like growing up. I think I was able. I got up to 4.0 kits. I don't remember how far Hero Factory made it up to. It was either 4.0 or like 4.5 or something like that. But like, they were robots inside of other mechs at like the very end, which I found very cool as a child. In my childlike stupor. Okay, I think this part is supposed to attach onto armor. which is why I don't think I can attach it right now. Unless... It might be secured by armor. I could be very wrong here. I need to double check here. I just hope that the armor can still fit on. Okay. Because, like, I believe specifically Generation 1 of Hero Factory, they were incredibly basic. Like, there was very little difference between them and Bionicles, honestly, with their internal frame. It's just like very, very stiff frame. Actually, Bionicles probably had way better articulation in comparison. Because it was like a very stiff frame that barely allowed for any articulation at all. Like, all you can do is just move the legs and arms from their ball and socket joints, connecting them to the main torso. Like, their limbs were just solid. Aside from that, you can move their hands and ankles. But those are on ball joints and essentially like C-clip socket joints. So, with like no further articulation, you just kind of slid weapons into their hands. You gotta get real creative with the weapons and your imagination in order to make it work. But, you know, I kind of made it work. Okay, now this is a bit unique. We can actually attach, I think, 2 different hands? Or I could be very wrong. Let me check something here. Yeah, no, we have 2 different hands here. So, we have your normal hand, and then you also have an angled hand over here. That angled holding hand is probably for the Bastard Chopper. Or the Demo Knife, depending on which one you want to equip. For now, I'm going to use your standard hand that you find on these frames, which also finishes off the runner. Anyways, where was I? Back to Hero Factory. This frame reminds me of, I want to say, 2.0 and 3.0 frames for Hero Factory, where you can actually bend their elbows. Which was an absolute miracle, it's a delight. Technology had improved so much by that time. They were able to actually get joints. Proper joints that weren't just ball and socket everything. I mean, they were still ball and sockets, just that they managed to restrict the ball joints a bit, and the sockets a bit, so that they'd bend more like a hinge and C-clip. But, because of the way a ton of things attached, there wasn't much room for a very deep levels of customization. You just had different shapes of armor that you can throw on and hope that it didn't interfere too much with articulation. I'm looking at the runner. Okay, I found the backs. Oh boy, this runner right here contains so many parts for Gundam Astaroth. Like, we can see a ton of parts that we've already used as well. Like, for example, the feet, they're in gray instead of blue. Normally this runner right here, this gray one that I'm holding, would be in red for Gundam Astaroth Origin. So these are all its parts, except in gray. That's pretty cool. Okay, so this is for left hand. This over here should be for right. Alright, so there we go. We do need to add some of these to complete the hand, because the hands are very simple. Just like that, we have the arm frame done. Of course, we're gonna have to disassemble parts of this in order to attach the armor, but you know. Now this is pretty cool. Though I believe normally this part right here, this armor would be a bit more out and covering this joint right here. At least that's how it was on the master grade. But for now, I mean, the limitations of high grade can only take you so far. That's pretty cool still. I like that. Anyways, we are now working on the head. So the head should be pretty simple to an extent. So cutting out some of these parts already. We have the main interior, including the eyes molded and chin. The red piece right there. Oh yeah, these other red pieces I don't think we're going to be using. Except maybe like a couple. Because, especially like these two, they're not used since I believe they're from the original Gundam Astaroth. Not Origin, but the first one that showed up in the series, the Gundam Astaroth. They were used on the back of his legs, I believe. Okay, we got a different map. Oh! Guess this part just popped out. That is the Dane's Lift pile bunker. Well, I mean, it popped out of the gate pretty cleanly. I just need to clean up a couple of nubs that are left over. Aside from that, okay, we're gonna leave this nearby. That is gonna be really nice once we complete the bastard chopper. There you are. There's the little mask. I don't think this is found on the other runners as well. So this mask right here is... Oh, whoops. Almost lost you for a second. But firstly, I want to put on the eyes before I throw on the mask, because sometimes the mask does get in the way of the eyes. Adjusting it slightly. I think this is just about as good as I can get it. Then just push down gently in order to force the sticker to conform with the raised parts. And there you go, you got eyes. Next up, you got the mask. These parts are so small. Oh, at least the head isn't as bad as when I worked on the real grade unicorn head. God, those parts for that transformation aspect are even tinier. Jesus Christ. Okay, next up, the back of the head. Oh yeah, we are actually technically done with the frame runner. I believe when it comes to the heads of these kits, each Gundam has a different head, like internal structure. That's pretty cool. take this, and then we just kind of shove these parts on. Shove it into the correct hole. Wait, which way are you supposed to be facing? Oh, like that. Okay. That opens up a couple more points that some other parts can attach to. Okay, so for now, I think we're just gonna stop the head once we fully close it up. We're not gonna throw on any more parts until we fully assemble this thing. We're gonna put on the head last. We'll put together the head last, rather. I feel like we're doing this kit pretty quickly, all things considered. It's been like, what, an hour since I started? And I've already got the frame done. It's pretty nice. Good pace. Okay, got some of these parts in. Now just to hope that this wants to close up. That's nice, okay. Look at that. Some red details, everything else is kind of gray. Now this goes on the neck, like so. Polycap neck, and there we go. Now you take the frame, throw it together, and oh boy does it remind me of a Hero Factory frame. Especially that torso. That torso in particular really reminds me of one of them. Especially first gen. Anyways, yeah, that is the internal frame done. That's pretty nice that it actually gets one of those. Of course, it looks very awkward and spindly. So, let's remedy that. It is time for the armor. Starting with the legs. Let's see. So I will have to work slower, I think. Because, again, everything is asymmetrical. I can't just do what I did with the frame and just, copy paste everything from one side to another. Ooh, I really do love the feeling of cutting this plastic. Starting with the right leg. Are you going in like this or like this? Maybe like this. Yeah, like that. All right. We're introducing some new parts here. Actually, I think the upper legs for both legs are the same to an extent. Oh, whoops. There goes the ankle again. I should probably secure that in before I continue too far. So is this facing the right way? I'm also missing a sticker here. So this is where one of the yellow stickers comes in. A bit of color correction. Right there, a bit of yellow right underneath all that. And this should just slide onto the ankle, right onto the thigh to act as armor there. Yeah, like so. And I believe it's the same on the other side as well, so lucky me. Where were those parts again? I completely forgot. Oh, wait, no, they're over here. Whoops, I am already screwing up my organization. What do I have left to cut? Just you? Okay. Nice and clean. Let's remove the leg. Because, well, we're going to be taking this thing apart anyways, just to throw it back together later. Nope. Dropped apart. Oh, shit. It just keeps on slipping out of my fingers. Just need to clean this up a bit. Not much to clean, but just a bit. Okay, here we go. Another sticker, because again, this is the same. They both have the same thighs, it seems. Just gently push everything into place here. Then there you go. Thigh armor is attached. So, what makes it a bit more complicated at the next step is the differing colors of legs. But, I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, they're just like right next to one another, it seems, over here. They have the same connection points on the frame. As long as I can figure out what goes where, shouldn't be too difficult. This should keep the angle from constantly falling out as well, once I get these parts in. Okay, so they both have a similar shape to an extent. Ankle fell off again. But now, that will soon no longer be an issue. If I can get this in the first place. Whoops. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna remove the ankle right here, because I think it might just be easier to rest the polycap in. Ooh, this really wants to fall off. So, the upper part did manage to attach, but the lower part down here does not want to. I don't know why. I don't want to force anything either. Otherwise, I can end up breaking something, like I have many times before. These armor parts just want to fall off pretty easily. Alright, snapped into place. Nice. Now the ankle should be secure enough to stop falling out every time I want to move the foot. Yeah, look at that articulation. Foot is still flat on the ground there. Like, oh boy, can that bend. Of course, there's going to be some more armor being attached later to the leg, but you know, for now, this is good enough. like the potential for articulation is very high right now. Ooh, okay, so another difference I see here. Look at the sides. This one is much more exposed than the other one. Oh boy. Much more junkery feel. Which I guess should be like that, seeing how this thing is thrown together. That's pretty cool. Anyways. Do we have any parts similar to this on the origin? No. Okay, so it seems like this is just my speculation, but I think the left leg, it takes more inspiration from the Astaroth origin than the right leg does. Like, it has more parts there. Because we got these right here as well that we now have to deal with. And I think this is where these black stickers also come in. These fit in a particular way. Okay, there we go. It's a bit difficult to do it, but once it's in, it really stays in. Oh yeah, that's right, I still need to add on the ankle armor. Let's see here. Where do these stickers go? Just thrown straight on top, eh? This. Bit of black color correction. And personally, I don't mind not having the color correction either. It doesn't look too bad on its own. Oh, whoops, I think I ripped some of the sticker. Good lord, this is difficult to properly line up each time. Okay, there we go. One of the black stickers is in. Now to get the others in. That's the tough part. If I had a pair of tweezers, I can probably just shove them in here. But closest thing I have is right here with part separator. This is really gonna help with the sticker placement, especially getting into these tiny crevices to force the back end of the sticker down. Please do not rip on me. That would be most terrible. Okay, there we go. Should be good enough. There we go. We got the black onto there. Alright, now I actually need to remember to put on the ankle armor. So, the ankle armor should be the same as the Astaroth's ankle armor. I believe the Origin had different ankle armor. Let's see here. Put this one on this foot. And this one on this foot. There we go. I think this is the right leg done. Yep. Now onto the left. There should be a bit more armor to do. Okay, so we do have to put on armor from the Origin on the left, as I suspected. It is a giant booster. God, this thing must be annoying as hell to control. Like, you really need a ton of experience with this thing just to fly asymmetrical like this. Unless, you know, you have a computer just helping you out the entire time. Come on. Just need this thing to slide in properly. Okay, this is difficult. Does not want to fit in, but I see the hole here. So I force this in first, and then nope. Might be doing something wrong here. Oops. Okay, this part just keeps being prone to falling off. Might have to bend it down here just to keep it in place. Alright, how do you want me to attach this? It's just kind of sandwiched on. Guess I'll put this on first. God, these parts are so tight-fitting right now. You gotta really try to force them on. Alright, I'm moving this for now. I can put that on later. I feel like that part falls off too easily for this next step. And I can't really show this on camera because of how close I have to be just to watch these two fit. Am I putting this on the right way as well? It feels off. God, I hope I am. So it is supposed to cover up a bit of the wiring in the frame. Oh, wait, I think I'm forcing something to work. There we go. It's very tight. Oh boy, that is not coming off anytime soon. That is so tight. Oh my gosh. Like, that took so long just to fit that in properly. Now to just do the same on the other side. Almost had it. I need to actually separate these parts because it's not going in properly. Good lord, how tight do you want this thing? And they said yes. Oh, okay, it finally popped out. So this peg and this are just forcing this piece to just clash and trying to stretch a bit. Just trying to accommodate for both. Like, it's such a tight fit. And I guess that's kind of what you want, but still. Okay, there we go. I got it. That took a while to do. Now I can attach this piece back on. Now to attach the booster. Let's see. Comes with you. I believe this is also from Origin. There we go. You got a fat booster on the leg right there. Alright, time for hip. Let's see. Is that a torso? I think that's Astaroth's torso. Where's the hip part I'm looking for? Oh, this. No, that's not it. There it is. So I don't think we're using the Astaroth Origins torso, but we are using a part of its hips. So, as with most high grades, this is a rock hard butt flap. It will not move. Let's see, I'm probably going to keep the front skirts attached to one another. Just for that little bit of extra stability. Unless... Let me check something here. Oh, they're nestled in pretty well. Might try separating. Actually, no, I won't. There's not really much these flaps are going to do anyway, since they're so tiny. I'll keep them together for now. Now, let's see here. These we just kind of throw on like so. I believe this should just go right here. Unless I have this backwards. No, this is just very tight. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's just incredibly tight. Okay, I'm gonna remove the hip. Oh, there goes that ball joint. You know, that can stay in there. Yeah, that can just stay in there. Because, that ain't coming out anytime soon. Anyways. let's see, we do have some more polycaps here. These two little C-clip joints. Whoops. Almost lost one of these. Those are going to allow this thing to, well, just kinda allow the side skirts to move a bit. God, that is a massive ass gate on the side skirt. I did not expect a gate this large. But luckily, due to the color of the plastic, it doesn't leave too much of a noticeable mark. Well, holy shit, that was a massive gate. I don't know why they made something that large as a gate for something so tiny. Okay, here we go. And these just kind of clip onto the ear. These are from the Origin, I believe, as well. And that should be it for the side skirts. Now, there is a bit of rotation, allowing the legs to move back and forth at the hip. Like one leg can move in front of the other more easily that way. There we go. Yeah, these legs are bulky. Like the knee isn't like as pronounced as the other Gundam frame kits I have, but they are definitely bulky as hell. Oh, whoops. Okay, this armor piece just is so prone to falling off. I'm very tempted to just glue that in place. I don't know why that thing keeps on falling off so much. Like, it feels so loose. I don't think it should be that loose. But it fits flush for the most part. So I don't think there's anything wrong in my installation of it. I'm gonna try to... No, I can't even install it lower. It just won't fit otherwise. There's only one way for it to fit. Yeah, it's just way too loose. I might have a remedy for that though. Here, I'm gonna pull these out and attempt a little remedy here if I can find it real quick. I know I had it somewhere. Yeah. How did I put? Still have to do my stuff. Here it is. Found it. This is the solution. Hobby tack. Whether it's blue tack or gray tack, doesn't matter. So, what I'm gonna do is take a small amount of tack, probably only like this much, and attempt to just, pop it in here. Pop it on the inside a bit. And perhaps that will help it hold. Nice thing about the tack is that it doesn't stick too hard. So this should just be able to slide in pretty easily. And yeah, the armor piece stays in slightly better than before. Of course, you do have to deal with the tack smearing everywhere once it's in, but just like use a toothpick or something to clean it out later. But for now, the armor piece actually stays in pretty easily. Nice. I highly recommend tack for anybody who doesn't have any. It is so useful. So, I'm gonna put away this tack real quick. Actually, I might keep it around for use later. Because who knows when this kit might need more tack. Anyways, let's see here. Hi. Okay. Sorry, I just looked at chat now. I was a bit too enthralled in building. Let's see. What's next? So, we finished the hips, we finished the legs, and now we got torso and arms. So I'm gonna disassemble these first, and start with the torso. I'm pretty sure I can keep the head on for now. Torso is pretty simple to do, if I remember correctly. So... Oh. I believe we need this part right here. And I think we are using a new part from this runner over here. Yeah, a bit of red. I think we also have a bit of blue. I'm pretty sure for the most part this also came from Astaroth Origin. Except now it's painted in blue instead of red. I'm pretty sure we also have an identical part on... yeah, this runner right here. So, yeah, these two parts are the exact same except one's in gray, one is in blue. You can swap them out if you want, actually. So depending on your tastes, you can just choose whichever color you like. So fitting these together is pretty easy. And they seem like they actually stay together. You have a bit of the gray showing through to the blue. Like, showing through the blue, I should say. Yeah. Then this should just clip right onto the chest, I believe. Yeah, it just kind of clicks on. Like so, yeah. I don't think we worry about a backpack till later. Actually, no, we can just do the backpack right now. It's really easy. It's like one piece. So this also came from the Astaroth Origin. You of course with this kit also have the Astaroth's backpack on this runner right here with the demo knife. So if you need another backpack, that's always there, but this has a slightly different shape to it, as you can see. This just kind of gets slapped on like so. Yeah, you still have two hard points on the back as well in case you want to attach anything there. That's really nice. I think that is it for the torso. We'll work on the head last, of course, before we go to weapons. The frame for the torso is rather exposed, especially even compared to something like the Barbados or Gushin. Like for Gundam frame torso, this one is especially exposed, it seems. Like it feels very barren. Oh, wait a second, I think I forgot a sticker on the head. Oh no, that comes later. Once we actually assemble the head. Never mind. So, arms are next. We'll start off with the right arm. This arm right here. Completely asymmetrical to the left arm. So, seems like with this arm, we are starting off with, some parts from the Astaroth origin. And the left should just be from Gundam Astaroth. Okay, so I'm moving this aside for now. Got a couple parts here to sandwich together. If I can find the right connectors. I think this is the right one. I didn't fully check, but yeah, I think this is it. So the main reason why this connector is important is because the right arm is actually a set of two arms. This thing has a sub-arm on top of its arm that also acts as a shield of some sorts. Like a shoulder shield, similar to a Zaku? Like a Zaku 2's shoulder shield, except it can fold out into a sub-arm, you know? So attaching this is pretty simple. There's like a little tab right here that connects into this hole. So, yeah, shoulder armor is attached. This moves up and down pretty freely, completely separately, compared to the rest of the arm. Of course, that adds a fair amount of bulk to the arm as well. Alrighty, so more parts from the origin here being slapped on. Let's see, so here is where I'm hoping some of my other actions don't get in the way. I'm just gonna slide this in, I think, hopefully. Might have to, yeah, I might, I'll remove this part first. Because I think this might actually get in the way. So this is supposed to slide in, yeah, clean. So I think it's supposed to sit flush to an extent. Then this goes on top in order to cap it off and keep it in. There we go. Don't push it in too much, otherwise it will not fully fit. It's only supposed to go down so much. That leaves a bit of an extra gap in order to show off this joint right here from the internal frame, which is pretty nice. And then I guess we can fully connect these two now. Let's see, we have another part sandwich here. Using parts from this runner. So, we don't... I think this is the forearm of Astaroth. Otherwise, we would have used parts off the origin. That or it's some sort of mishmash between the two. Okay, so got some more parts here. Of course, if you want, again, you can just throw on these parts instead if you really like the look of that. But for now, we're going to put on these parts. Let's hope it fits. Alright, nice. And that is most of the right arm done. Now to get to something a bit more complicated. That is where all these parts up here come in. So these parts up here make up the sub-arm. The right arm is, again, just two arms. Similar to a Biolent, now that I think about it. A Biolent. Like the original Biolent. I'm pretty sure in both Biolent Customs and the Isolde, they only have one set of forearms. Whereas the original Biolent had two. Where is that piece? There you are. Again, I really like the asymmetry in this kit. It adds a rather unique flair to it. I believe this right here is the actual holding hand for the sub-arm. So you can just put weapons into here as well for it to wield. That's actually pretty nice. Next up, I'll cut out the parts for the actual sub-arm itself. Alrighty. I also see a C-clip right here as a part of this joint. So it's similar to like an elbow to an extent. This should just kind of plug in here. Yep. Okay, then we need to use another piece over here. Where are you? There you are. Boy, this is a complicated sub-arm to an extent. Mainly just due to its folding gimmick. Okay, so there are some C-clip joints inside of here. They're really difficult to see. They should be able to click on. Yeah, there we go. This should also just snap on right here. Hopefully without too much issue. Yep. It folds up like so. I forget how it's supposed to properly fold out. I think there is a parts formation to an extent with this. No. Forget where this is supposed to go unless it's not complete. Not complete, okay. So, let's finish up this arm then. This is definitely one of the gimmickier natures of this kit. I mean, I don't blame them for trying with this kit, honestly. Like, there's so many little gimmicks that this thing has built into it. Pretty cool. This should be in the back right here. Pretty sure this was also supposed to be on Astaroth Origin, which is why there are like 2 holes right here for this little joint to fit into. So that would be it on the other side as well. That's just to make it compatible with all the parts on the Origin, but this is not the Astaroth Origin, so... Okay, nice. Okay, figure out how this arm folds out now. So you just kind of have a little action right here. It just deploys it like so, I believe. And this is on a ball joint, so you can freely move this. And it just folds back up. And is stored right on the shoulder. So this can be used to hold both the rifle and the bastard chopper. Or rather support the bastard chopper. It's pretty cool. That should be it for this arm. So yeah, right arm is complete. I was gonna throw that onto the kit. Onto the left. Left should be a lot simpler. Like, cause it, you know, it doesn't come with another hand. This is mostly parts from the Astaroth, if I remember correctly. Okay, so yeah, these parts right here, these are all from the Astaroth. I'm pretty sure you can also build another shield if you want for this thing, like a different version of the shield. Well, this is only for one shoulder, so we'll see what we can make of it. Of course, I can't really do any kit bashes right now with all these spare parts, because, well, I don't have other IBO kits on me at the moment, but, you know, I'm very tempted to do my own eventually. So this is pretty easy to throw together. It's just a couple parts here and there, sandwich them together like so. Then this just goes in right here. And that would just cover up the shoulder a bit more. Okay, so we're gonna have to remove this again, because we will need to cover up that upper arm. With some parts of the Astaroth. There are a ton of unique parts on here to work with. If you're really into kit bashing, I highly recommend this. Just this kit in general, because it offers you so many tools to kit bash with. Is this upside down? I hope it's not. I don't think it's upside down, so it should be good, right? Okay, one thing that does concern me a bit is that this piece of armor is free to move up and down to an extent. It might or might not be able to pop out on its own if you're not careful. But aside from that, should be good. Let's see, continuing with the build. The lower arm is the exact same as the Astaroth, I believe. So far it seems to be the opposite situation with the left and right foot. So in this case, the left foot took a ton of inspiration from the Origin, right foot took a ton of inspiration from Gundam Astaroth. The right arm took parts from the Origin, left is mostly from the Gundam Astaroth. Let's see, so this part does seem to come with a sort of guard for the elbow here, just to cover up parts of the frame. That's pretty neat. Yeah, like if you compare the back of these two, they are completely different. There's the asymmetry at work again. I think that should be it for the left arm. Now to finish off that head. So I'm gonna remove the head there. There are only a couple parts to attach to the head. Mainly just the cheeks and the V-fin. As is the case with most of these kinds of heads. I think the only variation I've seen when building these kits, well, Iron-Blooded Orphan Gundam frame kit specifically, was with the Grecian Remake Full City, where it had two different heads. One for its visor down and one for its visor up. But that is an exception. So, again, just like I said before, as with most of this kit, that V-fin is incredibly asymmetrical, which is pretty neat. We are bringing back a bit more red with the face. Parts of the cheeks are red. That's gonna be pretty nice. I believe these parts fitted on like so. If this wants to slide on at all. There's like a little tab here. Oh, whoops, that's upside down. No wonder. Put it on the wrong side. It's like a little tab here that keeps it from rotating on this little peg. So that keeps the lower cheeks in place. As for the uppers, we do have a little tab in there to, instead of like a peg, to keep these in place. So they also fit really flush. I do like that they molded these separately and didn't use stickers. And as with most Gundam frame heads, the back is completely uncovered. On with the V-fin now. This is a bit complicated, actually. There's like this little tab in here that you gotta push in on. Actually, before I put that in, there is also a color correction sticker here I need to apply first. Right on the head. Right here. Should be relatively easy to put on, I believe. And it just kind of bends around and wraps up top. I wish this was color separated, but I can see why they didn't do that. It'd be really annoying to try and model that. And I can see how they could do it though. Like if they like had a separate piece under here to like push in to like another red piece, that would be really nice for color separation. But they'd also have to make a new runner over here instead of reusing the red runner over here. So I can see why they didn't do that. Either way, that is the head done for this kit. We're almost done with the kit. All that's left are all the weapons and accessories, which it does come with a fair bit of stuff. Mainly, it comes with rifle, bastard chopper, demolition knife, and then you gotta find a way to combine the two. Oh yeah, and a ton of daggers as well. And because this is also reusing parts, this comes with a ton of spare parts to work with. Again, Kit Basher's dream. Oh yeah, we still need to make the shields. This one is pretty easy. So it's just another part sandwich, except you can also throw another hand on it to hold on to even more stuff. The shield doubles as a knuckle duster as well. Because, well, what is Iron-Blooded Orphans but without their melee weapons and their like strange addictions to them? Like hell, Barbados has several pile bunkers all over its body along with inside that mace. Okay, here we go. Yeah, another part sandwich, though I do like the color separation because of that. There is another sticker here. This one right here is relatively simple to apply, you know? You just kind of take this and throw it on. I believe it should just go on like so. I can line this up right. Gently pull it up a bit. There we go. Whoops, knocked it over. Now, where's the other hand for this? Again, we're going to be using parts from here. You get this piece right here to use as a little hand. It's curved a bit compared to the hand over here, which sits flush with the armor. So the backs of each hands are fitted to the aesthetics of the shields they're on. There we go, and we should have just enough space to, yep, pop that right onto there. So, you might wonder how you would go about attaching the shield. Well, firstly, okay, I don't think you need to remove the hand. Actually, no, it's easier to remove it. Because this is going to be gripping on in a weird way. So, the back is a bit difficult to remove. I don't know why this back right now is just on so tight. Might have to part separator it. But this is supposed to grip on like so. Then you attach the back on from this awkward angle. Luckily, once you do this, you don't really need to unattach the hand because, well, you have another hand to hold everything with. So this is just like an extension of the arm. Hand right here carefully get socketed back in. It's a bit more difficult to do now that you don't have a proper grip on it. And the socket is pretty tight. Try holding it like this, I guess. Yeah, there it goes. Rotate this properly. Make sure everything is secured. Then this peg goes into this hole on the arm. Right there. Which will properly seat the thing in place. And now it is a part of the forearm, as you can see. Of course, again, you have another hand right here to work with if you want to grip things with. But this shield acts as a knuckle duster, if I remember correctly. Now, let's see. On to the other weapons. Of course, some of these are much easier to build than others. For example, the rifle. The rifle is just another part sandwich. Two pieces just thrown together. I mean, there is a fair amount of detail molded on the rifle itself as well, but it's still a relatively simple rifle at the end of the day. Most of it is already, yeah, it's just done like that. There's a little indent there where the barrel is, and you can just throw it into one of the hands like so. I believe if you did want to use the rifle, you do actually have to remove the backs of the hands as well. If I remember correctly, there was also a way of holstering the rifle. Like, there should be proper holsters thrown in here. Yeah. Let me find that real quick. So I find the holster's pretty nice on this thing compared to most other holsters I've seen. Because the holster can actually just kind of sit alone on the side skirts, unlike most other holsters, which usually are a parts formation of some sorts, where you have to just keep it lying around, which directly attached to the weapon in order to keep it somewhere. But I find this holster really nice. You can just kind of keep it on here. It is on a ball and socket joint as well. It is very tight, but you can move it separately from the side skirt armor, which is very nice. Again, mainly for poses. I'm gonna twist that off real quick, just to quickly adjust this and put it back on. And that rifle holster, I do like. So I'm gonna keep that holster for now. But I'm also going to do the same with the knives. So this thing comes with 2 knives. Here's one of them. It just kind of slides into the hand. You don't need to holster or anything. It just kind of slips in there and you can use it as a knife. But, you know, that's more of a backup weapon than a proper weapon, in my opinion. If I can find another knife. Which runner was it? Oh, it was right in front of me. I know, it's on this other runner. The other runner with the Bastard Chopper. A new weapon that uses a pile bunker built in, which can combine with the demo knife as well, and make it more effective. Now, let me see if I can find the holster for this. Yeah, here it is. Knife holsters. So, same as the gun holster, but with room for the knives instead, I believe. So these should just be able to slide in. They're kind of held in via friction, more than anything. So, I mean, over time, they could potentially be prone to falling out. But, for now, I mean, they seem fine. holstered like so. And they go on, of course, the other side skirt. One thing I do like about this kit is that it can actually hold all of its accessories at once on the kit, which makes storing it really easy. Next up, Bastard Chopper. So, as you can see, it's on the new parts runner. The Dane's Lift pile bunker has already fallen out off the runner, so I'm just gonna keep that there as I just cut out the rest of this. So again, another part sandwich. It can be held right here as well. Like this is a handle for it. This, though, on the other hand, is a connection point with the demo knife. I believe this can also just be stored right here, potentially. I mean, it looks like it can be just popped in right here, yeah. Anyways, it is missing this. This is just kind of shoved down the barrel here. That is removable, by the way. So that is really nice. So again, this is the handle for the Bastard Chopper. But for now, I'm going to leave it right here. It can this also doubles as a storage solution for the Bastard Chopper as well, because there is actually a holster for it, surprisingly enough. Like with most of the weapons on this kit, I did not expect them all to come with holsters. And we've also finished off the runner by finishing that off. So this is the holster for it. It might not look like it, but it's pretty simple. This just kind of slides in right here. Then this just pops into the back. Nice and simple, you know? Everything on this kit can be holstered pretty easily, which again, I love. It can stand up on its own. Everything is holstered, nice for storage. And finally, one of the more complicated pieces on here, the demolition knife. So this is, of course, a folding weapon. Pretty much all the parts are on the original, not Origin, but Gundam Astaroth's runner. Oh, I think I actually see part of a hip on this runner as well. I guess if you really want to use that. Alright, did I miss a sticker somewhere? Because I feel like I am. I'm mostly just skimming through right now, hoping I didn't miss anything. Oh, I can always check later. Anyways, again, the backpacks of this backpack and this backpack are interchangeable. And I can also show you the other shield soon enough, because there are actually instructions in here on how to actually make it, which I'm surprised by. That's pretty cool. See, so we got the two blades here. I'm not going to sandwich them yet, because, well, there's actually a fair amount of internal components to this thing. Because, again, this thing is foldable. Let's see, here is a secondary grip for this thing, I believe. Like a folding grip. Let's see. I think this is the actual grip. We have a sub grip and a grip. I also see some more internal components for this thing. That I just dropped. Holy shit, there's so many parts in here. Like, I really do like how they show you how to make just about every accessory for this thing. Okay, I think that's all the parts. So we got, like, what? I want to say 8 parts to this thing? Just quite a bit. Let's get started. So, this right here is the folding gimmick. The sliding and folding gimmick. This, I believe, should just go through here. Wait, no, this is just a clip. Never mind. C-clip right there. Now, as for this... Let's see, where do you go? Right here. This thing, I kind of enthralled by right now. Oops, knock that guy over. He's just gonna be chilling right here for now. Luckily enough, it's stable enough for now to hold up itself. How do you go? Oh, okay, no, that is awkward. Okay, right there, no, never mind. That is a lot less awkward than I expected. Then I guess we just finish this off by sandwiching everything together. Alright. So, this is a long-ass sword. Like, it's taller than the suit itself. I mean, the suit doesn't seem that large either way, but like the blade is about as long as it is tall. No wonder it needs a folding gimmick. So, if I remember correctly, just kind of pull this out slightly. This just folds up like so. There's actually a little notch right here to click this into. And this just folds up like so. Oh, that is cool. It becomes incredibly compact. Of course, swing it out. Then this just folds up like this. Then you just kind of click it in down into place. And you have a long-ass sword. Of course, with such a sword, you probably want to extend this just to help hold it. So this is meant to go into, I believe, the left hand? Seeing how the location of this should be able to more easily be supported by the right hand. Pretty cool. I like that. I really like that. It folds up nice and compact. Alrighty. So, now you can combine these two. So of course, there's not much transformation to it. It's just as is. Big, heavy chop chop. But this, you fold it out. You can take this and just straight up stick it on right here, I believe. This just kind of locks into place. There is a notch here keeping it in to get this. So of course, choppy choppy, stabby stabby, but then once you get the first stabby off, second stabby comes out. That is how that works. Of course, this is massive and heavy as hell. So, yeah. It's even in the pictures, it is recommended that you hold this with 2 hands. So basically, Take this off first. You should disassemble this first in order to actually equip it. That's easier said than done, though. Jesus, this is tight. I'm gonna use the part separator before I damage anything. Okay, managed to wedge it out enough to probably fit this in. Okay, yeah, there we go. This just goes in here. Like, look at the size of this thing. This thing's massive. This goes in here, then it is recommended that it is supported with the right hand over here. And of course, you just quickly want to set up a good pose for that. I mean, easier said than done, but you know. Nice little pose there with that blade. The blade goes choppy choppy, stabby stabby. Let's see, I want to reholster the rifle real quick before we continue. Reattach this. I don't know how you're supposed to holster the demo knife, but I think this right here might be able to fold out to fit onto the back. Of course, that thing is very heavy, so be careful when wielding that. So as for the sub-arm, this, as I said before, can fold out like so. And this right here can wield other weapons, such as, if I quickly unholster this, the rifle, if I remove this, and properly attach it in like the sword. Of course, there is... let's see, before I do that, there is one more thing I do need to build, actually. This one is rather unique. It is the old version of the shield, I believe. So this one, the one thing that makes it so unique is that it actually gets proper manipulators rather than just a still set of hands and fingers. Like, these actually can articulate. There's just a ton of small parts for this thing. So give me some time to build this real quick. Again, this kit is honestly a kit basher's dream, because look at all these parts still left on the runner for you to use. Like, you have parts of another head, you still have the alternate hand right here, which I might actually use. I don't know what this is for, but that might again be for holstering something. Still have another chest. I think, is this part of the waist or back? It's hard to say. I think you have part of a V-fin right here. Perhaps a bit of a mask? Hard to say with this. You still have an entire foot. This we're actually going to be using. We have parts of a chest here. Don't know what this is. Back of a hand, which we might actually be using. We got parts of a forearm. The feet. I don't know what these are for. I think, again, don't know what these are for. This could be part of the upper thigh again. Part of a face. Back here we have another backpack that we're going to be using. God, there's just so many parts in this kit. Like, spare parts. Like, I would say if you just want a ton of spare parts to use, this kit and, the silver bullet suppressor are a good idea to get. I mean, silver bullet suppressor, I'd say only get it if you really like the silver bullet suppressor. Like personally, I love the concept of it, which is why I bought it. But as a kit, it is kind of it's a gimmick. It's incredibly gimmicky. Like it's supposed to have like this moving aspect to it, where I believe one of well, it was able to swap out arms if I remember correctly. Like that was its entire gimmick. That didn't work too well. Oh, there's a thumb as well to this. I need to find that. But it did come with a ton of parts from from both the Dove and Wolf and Silver Bullet that were extras. If you can figure out what to do with that, then yeah, go ham. Yeah, as you can see, you have like an entire hand here. Did I put this on backwards? Shit, I did. Well, this stream's gonna go longer than I expected just because of, again, my mistakes. Okay, so make sure this is the right way around this time. Back is supposed to go on like so. So, seeing how this is the left hand. Whoops, this is supposed to go on top. This is the inside of the palm. This back. Thumb is supposed to go up here. And hopefully this time around, nothing is backwards. Yep, that's the left hand. I completely forgot to put on something here. Whoops. There's supposed to be another joint in here somewhere, apparently. That's my bad. Again, there are just so many spare parts in this build. If you ever want to use them. There we go, you have a hand. I believe... where was it? Oh, this is supposed to be separated a bit ago. Oh, okay, there we go. Pretty easy to separate with the parts separator specifically. So this just kind of goes into the hand, and the back goes on. And boom, you can wield a rifle with this. Of course, it is very heavy. It might sag a bit. But, yeah, that sidearm can hold onto quite a lot of weapons. As for this, let's finish up this build. So that hand, that manipulator, can then, with this, be attached directly to the left hand. The fingers can move for this. Thumb can move. But, this peg right here is supposed to attach where this shield is. And currently I am a bit lazy to try to remove that. But this is all just optional parts to customize with. Anyways, I think that is it for this build. So of course you got the holster daggers over here. You got a ton of options for customization. I personally really like this build. I will honestly just be probably getting another Barbados just so that I can use some of these parts on it. Because all these parts are compatible with other IBO kits. Which is probably the best part about this build. Like, all these are still usable. Of course, polycaps are always usable. But I have a ton of parts to save. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap things up here. Thank you. This is gonna be the build. Oh, that was it for the build, I should say. You have a ton of options for customization. I need to find a place to pose this somewhere. But, I guess that's pretty much it for this stream. On Friday, well, I don't know what I'm gonna be streaming, but that's gonna be a bit of a surprise. Aside from that, I think that's all the announcements I have. So yeah, thank y'all for coming, and I will see you guys then. Bye.